Oh, and I'm back again, swerving through the traffic, getting drunk off gin. All right, how's it going, everybody? It is your host, Blitz. This is, I believe, episode 13 of the Sharp Note. So welcome. It is episode 13. Let me check before I lie to y'all. Anyway, oh yeah, man. We are out here surviving, thriving, working, same old, same old. This is this is it for any newcomers or if you've never watched an episode before. Again, my name's Blitz. I make music and I do this podcast just to talk about basically my life and music. So like projects I work on. No, this is not episode 13. I lied. I did lie to you guys. This is episode 14. Oops. Um, so this is episode 14. Interesting. Uh, oops. That happens. This episode's probably not gonna be too long because I'm about to go on a short road trip, which I do pretty much like every freaking week. Um, so yeah. I'm trying to get out of here. I got to get out of here soon, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So how is it going, everybody? How are you doing? Is life good? I think it is. Life is good sometimes. It can be. Life is that they say life is what you make of it. If you make life good, it'll be good. Um, so yeah, how's it going though? Uh, I've been so busy recently that I have not had like pretty much any time to work on like any personal projects or anything or like any music. I have not had any time. I've been writing so many papers and doing some assignments, and I still have a little bit to do. Um, I'm recording this on May 5th, and I'm actually supposed to walk at my graduation May 10th. So this episode will probably go out on the day as literally the second this video goes public on my YouTube channel here, I will literally be in the middle of graduating from college. Um, no bullshit, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah. Again, just to reiterate, this is a podcast I talk about life and music. That's pretty much it. So I just talk about random stuff, my life and the music I make, and also just music I enjoy. So, yeah, my life recently, like I said, I've just been busy doing coursework for college, and I'm graduating with an undergraduate degree. So that's cool. Yeah, it's almost summer, so that's awesome. The weather it's been hot. It has been hot recently. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, again, life has been hectic recently. I've been more consistent with these podcasts though. I've been more proactive. So like I'm recording this a few days ahead of time and I'm gonna upload this and then I'm probably record, I don't know, another one maybe later in the week or next week and then that one will get uploaded. So I try not to do these too ahead of time because I don't know. I feel like, well, one, I don't really have a lot to talk about. Like, I mean, I'm a human, right? There's only so much that I can possibly talk about. There's only so much information in my brain that I can talk about, especially like recent stuff. Because I try to make these podcasts somewhat like recent, because I'm in a way like the goal of this was just to like, I don't know, like I don't really know what the goal of this podcast is. It's just I just I just talk about life and music. I don't know. I just whatever. It just feels like something consistent to work towards and work and do, and it's easy. I literally I just open up OBS, I plug in my microphone, I click the start recording button, and I go. I just talk. It's unedited. All these episodes are completely unedited. Um, and yeah. So again, life has been hectic recently. I'm actually planning. So I've been working on assignments, like I said, like coursework for college, but I've also been somewhat organizing the music I have made. Okay, so at this point with my music, okay, I bought FL Studio. I bought the $200 version, whatever. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just called like the producer edition or something. But there's just the standard FL Studio edition. I bought that in 2023. It's 2025 now, so I've been making music for about, yeah, about 2 years, I guess, or a little under 2 years, really. But a lot of the songs I was making in 2023 were absolutely terrible. They just were. It was most of it anyway. Not I won't say literally everything, but most of it was absolutely terrible. And the reason was is because there was so much about music theory that I didn't understand. So I didn't understand. I kind of understood chords, but I didn't know how to make chords. I understood the logic behind them of like spacing out your fingers and whatnot, and I don't know, like on a piano I'm talking about. But I didn't understand how like how did you know to do this chord or this note plus this note plus this note makes this chord? Like I didn't understand that part. I was like, okay, cool. These three notes together make this chord. That's great. I understand that, and I understand the spacing between them. It makes halfway sense, but I didn't understand. Yeah. So what helped me? Anyway, my point is I didn't really start making any like decent music until like 2024, and it was almost like right at the beginning of 2024. It was like January, I don't know, like 4th, let's say. I don't remember what day it was exactly, but it was early January 2024. It clicked for me. Like music theory, just not all of it. I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything, and I can't. There's so much I still don't know. But what clicked for me were the church modes and how to and the key signatures. So now I understand when you say like A minor, I understand what that means now, and I understand what it means that A minor is the relative minor to C major. If I think my yes, I believe that is correct. Because A minor should be all the white keys and C major is all the white keys. So neither here nor there. Uh, but yeah, so early 2024, it just kind of snapped for me. So I started making music like more so in 2024, and throughout 2024, I was just really like going hard, like learning and just making a bunch of different music, and just trying to, yeah, just trying to make a bunch of different songs. Um, and in 2025 now, I feel like I've gotten to the point where um, so that was like almost a year and a half ago now, when I started like halfway seriously making music. So throughout 2024 and now 2025, it's May in 2025 now. So like I said, almost a year and a half. Um, I've made quite a few projects. I don't know the total number. I don't. I just don't have that number off the dome. But I do know it is significantly over 100 songs, and it might be over 200. I don't know if I'm quite at the 200 mark yet, but I know I'm significantly over 100. So I have produced at least 100, probably closer to like 150. I probably have about 150 good songs that I could show you right now. Like I could pull them up right now and say I produced this song, and there's about 150 to 200 of those tracks like that. Some better than others. Most not that good. Most of them not that good. But I try to take the best ones, and I like identify what makes them good, and then I try to use that and just build upon that and make other similar songs that use the same fundamental it uses the same concepts that made that beat good. Like, why did I enjoy that one, but I didn't enjoy this one, right? And what parts did I enjoy in this one that I didn't enjoy other parts, because so there's actually a few beats right now where I wasn't really happy with their product before, but there was like one or two elements in the song that I really loved. And so now I'm planning about going back and like reproducing some of those songs to just make them objectively better. 'Cause like some of these beats I'm not happy with them, and I'm not gonna release something that I'm just not happy with. Um, like I'm not gonna put it out there at all. I'm just not. So I have a decent vault right now of beats and just music. And yeah, I've got a decent amount of tracks, but see the thing is Lil B the bass god, the based god. He says in that song Birth of Rap, he said you're not in the game until you make 1,000 songs, and I truly believe that. I truly believe you are not truly in the game until you make 1,000 songs. So I'm not there yet. I'm simply not there yet. I'm getting there though. Give me more time. Uh, Give me a couple years probably to continue to develop my ability and my skill, and I feel like I will at that point genuine once I surpass that 1,000 track mark. Like I've produced, I've made, I've worked on 1,000 different tracks. I feel like I will truly be competing. I guess in the music industry or whatever. And really, uh, I mean, you could say I'm competing right now because I have music out there, but I don't have my music on streaming platforms yet. Honestly, mostly because it requires money to put your music on streaming platforms. And also, I'm very hesitant about making any sort of like deals with any sort of distributor. Very hesitant. Like, okay, for instance, DistroKid is a decent one, but I've heard some people have had not so good luck with DistroKid. And also, like it's like a subscription thing. So it's like the moment you stop paying that subscription, they're gonna take your music off of streaming platforms. Whereas like a service like CD Baby, you pay a one-time fee and your music's just on the streaming platform. They'll never take it down. Um, but then like I've heard some people are like apparently if you try to like post your music elsewhere, sometimes it'll get flagged by copyright even though it's your song, but because it was posted on CD Baby, CD Baby actually and this is a good thing. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. This is actually kind of a good thing because they're protecting your music. They're protecting the copyright of your song. And so that you don't have to do it. It's honestly a great service, but I'm just hesitant, I guess. I don't wanna do something quick and just I don't know. You get my point. I don't want to make a mistake and then someone else owns my song. So the simplest thing I can do right now is put my stuff on um YouTube and like platforms like SoundCloud. SoundCloud's free. It's easy to upload. And I also have my music on this other platform called Audius, which is I have mixed feelings about. It's a Web3 music streaming platform, which in all honesty, I do think is the future of the music industry. I believe that eventually, so right now, all right, let me talk about some technology real quick. So Web 1 or Web 1.0, whatever you want to call it, that was like the initial public version of the internet, and it was read only. You couldn't. There were no forums. There was no social media. There wasn't even email. there was no text boxes where you could input information. It was just you would go to the web page and you read stuff. So it was like you were just accessing repositories or databases or whatever. That was literally it. And you were just accessing information. But there was no interactability. And then they added that interactability, and that became Web 2.0. Um, and Web 2.0 is we're still currently living out that life cycle of Web 2.0. So like YouTube is technically a Web 2.0 thing. So when I say Web 2.0, essentially what I'm saying is that, for instance, YouTube has servers that they store all the YouTube videos on, and you upload your video to that server, and you own the copyright to your video, of course. Now but YouTube has the right with the terms of service agreement that you sign, like the end user license agreement that you sign with YouTube. Whenever you upload something to YouTube, they have the right to store that on their servers, which they have to. They have to have that right to store your copyrighted video on their servers in a non like pirated way, so that they can so that your video can be on YouTube. Like that's just the way Web 2.0 works. And so like Instagram, whenever you upload a picture to Instagram, that picture is stored on Instagram's servers or Facebook's servers because Facebook owns Instagram. But you get my point. Instagram probably has their own dedicated servers though. But yeah, your content is it's like literally on it lives on their servers. But Web3 is a new version of, it uses blockchain. A lot of people are skeptical about it because it uses blockchain and like cryptocurrencies and whatnot, and people are like, oh, cryptocurrency, well, the people are they just don't. Crypto gets a bad rap because of the current environment, and the people who are into cryptocurrencies are mostly degenerates who just don't provide anything to society. That's most of the people. And the real people who are like legitimately just not dickheads, they're like buying Bitcoin, but they're not getting into the whole Web3 thing yet. So yeah, this platform Audius, I don't know. I'm skeptical about it. I have my music on there now. I can always go and delete it. It's really not that big a deal. But long story short, what happens is that instead of like Audius storing, so like for instance, Apple Music or Spotify. Spotify's a better example. It's more ubiquitous. Spotify stores the music on servers, and then the user base accesses those songs stored on their servers, blah blah blah. So there is a contract. Basically how it works is the artist makes a contract with a distributor. The distributor goes to Spotify. They make a contract to get all these artists' music on the platform, and then you, as the listener of music, you sign another contract with like Spotify to then listen to access that music. So it's like 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 layers of contracts that you have to go through in order to truly get access to music. Or at minimum, it's like 2 because an independent art. Well, no, yeah. Again, it's like a 3-layer contract because like I'm an independent artist. Literally the only way you lessen it to like essentially 2 forms of contract is that an artist makes their own record label and then they distribute their music themselves through their own record label. So like Suicide Boys did this. They made Gray 59 is the record label, if I'm not mistaken. Gray 59 is like, that's what they always talk about. If I'm not mistaken, that is the label or the name of the label that they own. And so Suicide Boys, they make music and then they just release it themselves. So there's essentially like 2 layers of contracts there, where Suicide Boys, well, in a way it's 3, but it might as well be 2 because Suicide Boys owns their own label. and then their label has a contract with like Spotify Music, and then and then again you make the contract with Spotify you get my point. So how Web3 is supposed to work and how this Audius platform is supposed to kind of work is that instead of Audius having dedicated servers, like centralized dedicated servers, they they have what's called content nodes, and so it's decentralized. So all the music that gets uploaded to Audius gets stored across a wide range of servers, and it's community stored. So everybody has a copy of your song essentially, but what everybody does not have is true access to your song. So, for instance, if you put a $5 fee on your song, when your song gets uploaded to Audius, in order for someone to access that song, they have to pay the $5, and because it's literally it's on the anyway. You get my point. And in that method, with the Audius method, instead of paying Audius the $5 and then Audius pays the artist, you pay the $5 directly to the artist, and then Audius just like gives you the access to like the content or the song through the content nodes and whatnot. So there's a whole white paper on it. I recommend going and reading it, and I might link it in this episode or something. May or may not. I don't know. I'll think about it, but it's an interesting platform. It's an interesting idea, and the only reason I even care about this Audius platform, I literally don't like. It's honestly not that great of a platform right now, and it's already like years old. It's been around for multiple years now, since like the late 2010s or something. So it's 2025 now. It's been around for at least 5, 6, 7 years, and it just has yet to take off because people, again, I said this earlier. We're still living out the Web 2.0 life cycle. So people are still on Spotify. Spotify is a Web 2.0 service. People are still people aren't going away from Spotify unless the only way people delete their Spotify is if there genuinely is a better platform, or all of the like all of their favorite artists move to a different platform. And so I don't know, it might be 5 or 10 years from now, and that's a cliche thing to say, like, oh, 5 or 10 years from now, 5 to 10 years, 5 to 10 years. People always say that shit. But genuinely, Audius is already, like I said, like 5 to 10 years old now in 2025. Give it another 5 to 10 years. So, okay, for example, YouTube was like nothing in 2008, right? Not many people were on YouTube. Gave it 5 years. Still, it grew quite a bit, but it still wasn't like, and then give it another 5, 10 years, and YouTube's the standard. It's like, Google bought it, and then, yeah, you get my point. So at first, YouTube was not adopted. It was just not, there was a transition phase. So that transition phase has not happened with, like, the music streaming thing yet. So anyway, yeah, I don't even know how I got on this whole tangent, but point is I got my music on these different platforms, but anyway, what I was even talking about was, basically, I got projects I'm working on. I got my music out there. I wanna put my music on like streaming platforms and whatnot. I wanna do all this stuff, but I just haven't had the most time recently. But I should have more time coming up to work on some of this stuff. And yeah, and I've been steadily. I haven't wasted any of the time recently. So I haven't had the most time to like make a bunch of beats or do or whatever, or to finish an album. But what I have been doing is organizing two different projects. One is like a short EP, 7 tracks, and then another is an album which is 13 songs. Uh, so that's yeah, it should be about 30 to 40 minutes ish, and then the EP should be probably like 7 tracks. I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes or so, 15 to 20 minutes. Um, Neither here nor there. I don't know the exact time frames, and I gotta remix some of these tracks. But I've been organizing them, and I have the album covers already done, halfway anyway. I may redo them, but I have the concept of them. I know like what I'm going to do. I might redo them at a higher quality, like more pixels. But they're not bad. They're not bad. I wouldn't be upset using what I have right now. I have a decent cover for each already. So again, I might redo them, may not. We'll see. But I'm working on these two tracks. I've been organizing them, and I've been thinking about the tracks that the track listing, so the order in which the tracks play. And I've been thinking about like remixing each of the tracks, taking out parts, adding new parts, changing some of the instruments. Like there's one song in particular, the bass line sucks, and the bass I even used sucks. So I'm going to completely change the bass. Like the whole bass of this one track is going to completely change. The bass line is going to change, and also the bass sound itself, it will change. So among other things with that track, there are a couple other things in that track I'm going to change as well. So some of these tracks are going to be not like completely different from what they are now, but they're going to be just better versions. Um, because some of these tracks I made like a while ago. I don't know. Anyway, point is, and actually never mind. Some of these tracks yeah, I might as well. Some of these tracks I was, I guess, thinking about halfway including on my album I released last year, of all music, but I just, I mean, you can only put so many songs on an album. That album was a 21 tracks, and it was an hour and 20 minutes. So I was pushing it as far as like timing goes, because you can only on an actual LP, you can only put like 20 to 25 minutes per side, something like that. And I'm right at 20 minutes per side on two LPs for that album. 21 tracks, an hour and 20 minutes. It's almost an hour and 20 minutes on the dot, but it's an hour and 20 minutes and then like some change of seconds. But it's average 20 minutes per side, and that's, anyway, you get my point. So it's like a 2 LP album, in a way. But obviously, I haven't had it pressed or anything, and it may or may not in the future. I don't know. Well, I probably will have it pressed, at least like maybe like 100 copies or something. Because like I believe you can drop like $1,000 or $2 to get like 100 pressings for a vinyl. I don't think, and that's not unreasonable to me. Like $1,000 or $2,000 is a lot. Don't get me wrong, but uh, if I'm making, first of all, if I have a good job in the future, and I have just a this might sound like I got all the money in the world, but I do not. I'm fucking broke right now. But if I just have a spare $1,000 laying around one day, you know, uh, it'd be cool to have some of my projects pressed into some vinyl. And then I may try to sell them, or just give them out. Just give them out to like my family or something, or friends and whatnot. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future. We'll see. Or I might just I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do in the future. We'll just have to see. I'm gonna keep working at it. I'm gonna keep making these podcast episodes, just like talking about this shit, and just, I don't know. Yeah. So I'm 22 now. I know I'm kind of changing subjects now, but I'm 22. I have been producing for like roughly 2 years, but really in the past like year and a half, I've been going hard in the paint. Um, I got so many more projects that I could make, and I will make in the future. Um, it's just having the time to do them. It's literally just a matter of time. Time is the one thing that is just the hardest thing for me to get by, because there's just only 24 hours in a day. It's only 7 days in a week. That's only what? Hold on, let me do that math real quick. 24 times 7. There's only 168 hours every single week. You have to sleep for a third of that, roughly. So that that gives you roughly 112 hours of work every single week if you slept like on average 8 hours a night. And obviously you got to eat. So let's say, you know what? Let's say you take 2 hours a day to eat. So that's two times, so minus 14. You got 98 hours. But then also you got to shower and like use the bathroom and shit. So and literally shit. So let's say you spend like, mm, I don't know. I probably spend like, it takes me like 10, 15 minutes to shower, I think usually. And then like, another like 10 or 15 minutes to dry off and like do all the things, brush my hair, I don't know, just do all the things. So, let's say I'm spending like 30 minutes to an hour a day, roughly, doing that stuff. Like, let's just be conservative, an hour a day. 1 hour a day, that's 7 hours. That's 91 hours a week you got to work. But then also, if you got a job or school you're doing, like I'm a student in school, I gotta work on assignments. That's like a full-time job pretty much. So there's not that many hours in the week to work on projects. So that's it's just the one time management, that's if there's one skill in this world I would recommend you get good at, it is time management. Learn how to control your time, how to control your life. It's just going to exponentially increase your capabilities of what you're able to do and how much in your capacity of how much you're able to do. Um, yeah, I feel like I work like literally. I wake up. The only time I'm not like working or doing something is if I'm like just scrolling through social media. But typically, if I'm scrolling through social media, I'm also thinking about my own social media, and I'm thinking about my own like my YouTube channels and my Instagram, and I don't know, just random you know things. I'm thinking about future YouTube videos. So um, I don't know. It's just yeah. I feel like I'm like working literally. Wake up, start working on stuff, and just keep going until I get too tired and I have to just fall asleep. Um, and that's usually like I don't know. Sometimes I take naps. But yeah, I'm actually really tired now. I kind of want to take a nap, but because I pulled an all-nighter last night, and then I got maybe like 4 hours of sleep or something, 4 or 5 hours, I don't know. So not terrible, but not much either. And I had just some stuff to do today, and I was just doing random things around the house, dishes, laundry. Well, I didn't do much laundry, but um, what did I do today? I don't know. Anyway, I like I said, I'm going on this road trip in a minute, which I do pretty much every week because I bounce around from place to place a lot. I'm a very nomadic person. Not because I want to be, but just because I have obligations in different places. So like this road trip I'm talking about. It's a 3 hour drive, roughly. Not I don't think it's not quite 3 hours. I think it's closer to like 2 hours, 30 minutes, 2 hours 45. But I'll usually make stops, so it ends up being about 3 hours and some change usually. Because I'll stop for gas or I'll stop for groceries or something. So, just normal life things. But it's neither here nor there. Um, yeah. Uh, I've been working like a dog though these past couple weeks, just trying to. It's final season for. I took a final on Saturday. It was due at midnight on that Saturday. I turned it in at 11:59. I was scrambling. Let me tell you, I was scrambling in that last second. I realized I only had like 30 seconds to turn it in or something, and I was like, and dude, this is the thing. I had like a minute or two, or it wasn't quite 30 seconds. I had like a minute or two to turn it in, and I was downloading long story short, this final it was a math thing, so I had to do a bunch of math, and there was actually just one. I had to download a PDF for the exam and then just fill out the questions in the PDF file and like just do all the math and fill it all out and show my work. Um, and then so I did that, and then when I downloaded it as a PDF, or I downloaded it as a PDF, had to convert it to a doc, like a Word document, real quick, and then I could go in and edit all the text. And so I did that real quick, and then I spent 4 hours working on this assignment, and part way through, I realized one of these questions I spent like 20 minutes on, let's say. Um, oh, by the way, real quick, unfinished. I did not finish this exam, and I turned it in unfinished. And yeah, so I had to because I had I had no more time. Um, but partway through, I spent like 20 or 30 minutes on this one question. Realized I did it completely wrong. Not even close to the right answer. And I was like, oh my god. So I had to literally delete all that. I completely wasted like 20, 30 minutes of my 4 hour time allotment for this exam. But it is what it is. That's my own fault. It really is my own fault. I can't blame, like, I was just stupid. I didn't realize. Yeah, I don't even know what I was thinking, dude. Um, I read the question too quick, I guess, and then I thought I knew what I was supposed to do, and then I just started doing it. And then when I like went back and read the question, I realized I completely missed like this one part of the question that like just made everything I did void, or it just didn't like it had no, it didn't answer the question at all. What I had done did not answer the question at all. So I don't know what I was thinking, but it is what it is. But yeah, final season, man, it kills me every single time. Literally every single time. Final season, I'm just scrambling, like trying to turn in assignments and trying to finish my exams, study for my exams first of all, and then finish them and do them correctly. you know, so I'm not just completely wrong. But you know, at this point, it is what it is, man. I don't know. We'll see what my final grade ends up being. I haven't gotten graded on it yet. I don't know. I hope I did okay. I hope this professor is, well, he's not. He's not lenient at all. He's a math professor, computer science specifically. Look, if you're going into anything technology related and it requires computer science, or you're taking computer science courses or math courses, math or computer science courses, there will be no leniency. There just will not be. Um, which is fine. I mean that they are really really not like, they don't play. you know. So if you're taking computer science courses or math courses right now, one, do your work, study the stuff, learn the concepts. It's really not. It doesn't take a genius to learn some of these things. Um, what it takes a genius is to like read the course material that they give you, because usually the course material, in my experience anyway, usually the course material like almost never really helps explain things. It just like, I don't even know. The course material sucks with a lot of like math and computer science courses. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, computer science in general. I'm not a computer science major. Thank God. Thank freaking God I'm not a computer science major. If I were, well, I have a position I'm going to be starting over this summer. If I were a computer science major, I probably wouldn't have a job. I literally, there would not be an opportunity for me. But because I chose a different major, which is also technology related and still requires like some computer science stuff, uh, I actually have a position that I'm gonna work for, and hopefully it leads to like a full-time thing. It'll be a part-time position for a little while, but that's better than nothing, and hopefully it leads to a full-time position sometime either there with that company I'll be working for, or somewhere else. I can just use it as a resume builder and go somewhere else and say, oh yeah, I was doing this, this, and this. We'll see. But of course I'll still be working on these, my music and all this stuff in my free time. That's the thing. All this stuff, this is literally just a hobby. So like this podcast and all the music I make, it's literally just a hobby. I'm not like I know this is another like it's cliche to say this. I'm not doing it for the views. I'm literally not. If I were, I'm getting like 5 views right now. Like I'm getting nothing right now. Literally no one is watching these pretty much. But I don't know, maybe someday. I literally if I have 1,000 followers, I'll be happy. Or like 10,000. My obviously a million would be nice. Like a million subscribers on YouTube. That'd be amazing. But I don't know. It's just right now it's not really realistic. Especially it's not gonna happen overnight. I'm at like 10 right now or something. So 10, 10 was hard enough to get. A million's gonna be basically impossible for me. So maybe one day. I don't know. I truly I can't predict the future, um, but yeah, I don't know. So literally all this is just a hobby for me. I'm just doing this shit for fun. Just do it in my free time. That's why I'm not more like adamant about like getting these podcasts out every single week. And I have missed a few weeks. And I probably will miss weeks in the future. So I've been consistent recently. So I had this will be the third week in a row that I have uploaded an episode for the Sharp Note. Again, this is episode 14. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably get busy in the future, and I might miss a week here or there. Um, sorry, excuse me. And there might be like 2 or 3 weeks I go without releasing an episode because I'll just be busy with stuff. I won't have the time to commit to recording these podcast episodes. But that's the thing. I try to make these podcast episodes so simple that it literally, all it takes is the time to just turn on my computer, plug in my mic real quick, hit the start record button, record the podcast episode. So right now I've been recording for 40 something minutes, 42 minutes actually. So it takes that amount of time, of course, to talk about this stuff and to actually record the episode. And then I upload it, schedule it, and I go on with my day. And it really doesn't take that long to upload. I have decent Wi-Fi. It's not great. I live in like rural area, so it's not amazing, but it's something. It's better than, let me tell you. If you want your mind blown, um, and you want a little bit of perspective on technology and just your life. So, all right, real quick, go to Google, all right, wherever you are. If you're home on your personal network, that's the best. Because I want you to go to Google and type in internet speed test, and Google has this thing. It's just you click the start button, and it figures out your upload and your download speeds. So go figure out your upload and your download speeds. If it is one over 100 megabits per second, you've got good Wi-Fi. You can't tell me otherwise. You've got good Wi-Fi. Because back in the day when I was young, back in the day, I had literally, I'm not even lying about this, I had 1 megabit per second. 1 megabit per second that I shared with the rest of my family. So, it just, it was literally impossible to do things. I was playing like Call of Duty on that, bro, and I was like doing decent. I would do decent on that connection speed on Call of Duty. Like people, like you can't make excuses, bro. But I had 1 megabit per second, or like sometimes 3 megabits per second. The maximum that for our package that we paid for was 10. That was the absolute maximum we were allowed to get. But obviously, we're not going to get 10 megabits per second. We're going to get like half of that at best. So it might have jumped up to 5 megabits per second at some point, but I never saw it. I think the highest I ever saw it was like, yeah, like 3 megabits per second. But it averaged like 1 or 2. our Wi-Fi speed or our internet speed and back in the day. But then now rural areas, they've gotten a little bit better Wi-Fi now and better internet. They've laid fiber optic cables around, uh, so now you can get some decent speeds. But 10, 15 years ago, nada, not at all. Nope, you were not getting any sort of high-speed internet connection. Not where I was living anyway. You had to be in a city somewhere. If you were in a city, yeah, you had fine internet. But if you were in any sort of rural area, at least in my community, like in my rural area where I was living, I don't know about other rural areas, dude. I can only imagine what the Wi-Fi in North Dakota is like right now. Like, or you get my point. Like one of these smaller, what's another small state, or like population-wise, small state. Mm, or just like yeah, I don't know. Just one of these random. I can only imagine what their Wi-Fi speeds are. And truthfully, I was lucky to have 1 to 3 megabits per second back in the day. I had friends who they didn't have Wi-Fi. There just was no Wi-Fi. There was no internet connection to their house. There was no. It didn't exist. They just didn't have internet. Um, yeah. I mean, like, so I felt really lucky to have any internet, really, um, no matter how bad it was. And now I feel like I'm living in the frickin' future with like, uh, these high-speed internet now. And then I got my buddy living in this city, and he gets like a gigabit per second. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up. Like, the maximum I can think I can get right now is like 500 megabits per second. Not even where I'm at. Literally, where I'm recording this right now is not where I'm talking about, where I can get 500 megabits per second. That's my grandparents' place, where we can get like 500 megabits per second. And that's only a recent thing. They just laid the fiber optic cable. Literally, I'm talking about like this past year in 2024, 2025. They just now laid the fiber optic cable in where my grandparents stay, and now they finally have some decent internet. But before, again, it was like negligible, and now it's the 500 megabits per second. Um, but that's the maximum. That's the maximum. You're not getting any more than that. Some people, the like lower packages are still like 50 to 100, maybe 200 megabits per second. I'm not sure exactly. It's been a while since I've looked at the paperwork for like, because you can go on their website and you can see like their different packages for the internet. Or anyway, they send you like you get my point. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's in that ballpark. You can get maybe like 50 to 100 on the lower end, but then like 2, 3, 400 up to like 500 on the high end. But nothing more than that. You're not going to get faster internet than that, and it's simply because of um, living in a rural area. Because here's the thing: fiber optic can only be laid in 10-kilometer sections. That's the maximum space you're allowed to have, or the maximum length for a single fiber optic line. And then you have to put like I don't know what it's exactly called, but it's basically a junction box where it has a very simple like computer where it reads the signal from one line and then just outputs the signal to the next line. So you just have a junction box, and that's how you can get 20 kilometers. You just have a junction box in the middle of that. It's just a very simple computer, essentially. With I think it has like the bottom three layers. So it has a physical layer, the what is it? The network layer is next. I can't even remember it's the OSI layer model. I think that's what I'm referring to. Look, I can't remember all this shit off the top of my head, but if I looked it up, I could be able to show you, but I'm not doing that right now. But anyway, you get my point. I don't even know how I got us talking about got started on this whole tangent, but yeah, you get my point. I feel lucky with the technology I have now, and I feel like I'm living in the fucking future. And I hope this provides you a little bit of context, if you at all in the past 10 or 15 years have had high speed internet, you are lucky and you are rich. You are rich. If you're and I heard this somewhere. If you are middle class, you are rich. That like in the terms of the global population, middle class in America is so unimaginably rich compared to truly how impoverished some people are in some other countries. So the 1% in America are an anomaly. Their lives are just it's honestly crazy. It's genuinely the disparity between, the like the top and the middle class versus the low class in America versus the low class in other countries. Like low class in America is still essentially rich compared to some other countries. I won't say literally everybody in America is richer than, other countries. Like there are some very broke people in America, and I feel bad for people like that and for families like that. I wish there was more I could do to help them. But I can't sacrifice my own life to go help, all these people, because all right, theoretically, if I just gave a bunch of money to some of these people, which not that I have a lot to give anyway, I can maybe give them like $50 or something. Um, but if I theoretically did that, well, then how am I going to survive? How am I going to, how am I going to buy food? Because I'm struggling to buy food. Broke college student, it just is what it is. But I'm not complaining. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I'm not at all. I feel very grateful for just everything in my life. Just even being able to record this podcast right now and upload this and to have the internet, to have the computer that I built. I bought and paid for this computer myself. I put it together and I'm recording it and I got this microphone. I did the graphic art. I set all this up. You know, all the music I make, I do all the music. I use loops from time to time. I'm not gonna lie, and I'll use samples. But I do all the production myself. And anytime I use any sort of loop or sample, I significantly change it to the point where it's like it's not even. It might be recognizable, but it's not even the same song. It's just literally not even the same song. Not even close to the same. So I don't know. It is what it is. This episode is actually much longer than I was expecting to be. I was gonna make this maybe like a 30-minute episode, but I'm recording for 50 minutes now. I just been talking, man. All right. I gotta go on this road trip. I got like 3 hours to drive. I'm gonna hit upload real quick. I'm gonna get this uploaded, and then yeah, like I said, this will come out. This episode should come out May 10th, which is the day of my graduation from my university for my undergraduate degree. So literally, the minute this episode goes public, I will be in the middle of my graduation, which is kind of neat. I don't know. But yeah, this was episode 14 of the Sharp Note. I just talked about these podcast episodes are just completely random. I just talk about the most random shit. So, um, anyway, hope you enjoyed. That's pretty much it. Again, it's been Blitz. This is the Sharp Note, episode 14. Yeah, that's all for now anyway. So, I will see you guys later. I'm gonna keep working on projects. I'm gonna keep. Like I said, I've been organizing these projects. I'm gonna try to come out with these soon. Try to get them remixed and whatnot. Especially because like final season is almost over, and I'm almost done with college. And once I'm done with that, I'll be starting this other position, like I said, over the summer. But we'll be this job. But I got free time. The thing with school is uh, it's a 24/7 thing. So even when you're not working, you still have work to do, right? And you could be working in that moment. At least for me, anyway. Um, that's how I see it. That's how I see school. I think that's a fair assessment about college is that it just kind of is a 24/7 thing, just education, whether you're in public school or higher education. Um, it's just kind of a 24/7 thing. You're always reading something or thinking about your assignments that you have to do or whatever. It's a very different feeling not having to do school and just working, and having that free time after work to just kind of do what you want. It's a very different feeling, and it's a very different. Uh, yeah. Anyway, you get my point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Uh, yeah, thank you for watching. This has been the Sharp Note episode 14. I've been your host, Blitz. uh, yeah. I will see you guys in the next episode, I guess. All right, bye.